If you have read Philip K. Dick's novel, The Man in the High Castle, or watched the TV adaptation, I think you will be struck by a singular book mentioned in the novel. That is the I-Ching, or the Book of Changes. It had a huge influence on the writing and the plot of the novel. Hello, this is John Lai, a visiting fellow from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. If you have read the novel carefully, you will notice there are altogether 12 episodes of I-Ching Divination in the novel. Let me quote one particular one that is quite interesting. It is about a major character called Frink. He's a lover of the I-Ching, and he always do the I-Ching divination using some Yarrow Stalks. Seated on his bed, a cup of lukewarm tea beside him, Frink got down his copy of the I-Ching. From their leather tube, he took the 49 Yarrow Stalks. He considered until he had his thoughts properly controlled and his questions worked out. In the process of writing The Man in the High Castle, Philip K. Dick would always do I-Ching divination alongside with the divination done by the characters themselves. And Philip K. Dick will write down the result of the divination into the plot of the novel. Probably you'll be very interested to know more about how does the actual process of I-Ching divination work. Traditionally, in imperial China, it was the emperor who liked to do the divination and consulting the I-Ching for some really important decisions related to the whole country. But in modern days, or for example, in the world of The Man in the High Castle, people are making divination asking some personal question related to their daily life. And at the same time, if we read the remarkable foreword of the I-Ching by Cao Yong, he had a very reflective question in mind. He actually personified the I-Ching just like a sage with a lot of wisdom. And Cao Yong said, I personify the book in a sense, asking its judgment about its present situation. That is, my intention to present it to the Western mind. So I also personify the I-Ching, and I would like to ask him, is it a good idea to represent the I-Ching in the Western literary context? Okay, let's get started. This is called the Yarrow Stalk Oracle. So this is the most classical way of consulting the I-Ching. The major source of reference of this Yarrow Stalk Oracle comes from the I-Ching itself. The number of the total is 50. Of these, 49 are used. They are divided into two portions to represent the two primal forces. Hereupon, one is set apart to represent the three powers. They are counted through by fours to represent the 4 seasons. The remainder is put aside to represent the intercalary month. To start with, we take one Yarrow Stalk out of the 50 and put it there. This is very symbolic. This Yarrow Stalk symbolizes the Tai Chi, or the supreme ultimate. This is the primal beginning of the universe. This is the state before heaven and earth was differentiated. From this 1, it becomes 2 because we are dividing the 49 Yarrow Stalks into 2 hips at random and put them there. The hip on the left symbolizes the yang force. The hip on the right symbolizes the yin force. The yang symbolizes the heaven, and the yin symbolizes the earth. And from the right hip, we take out one yarrow stalk and insert it between the little and the ring fingers. This is very symbolic. This is the symbol of humankind. So here we've got the three primary powers of the universe: heaven, earth, and humankind. And then we'll do some division of those two heaps of yarrow stalks by a group of 4. So we start with the left heap. So we take out 4 yarrow stalks each time. 4 symbolizes the 4 seasons. Okay, so we'll do them 4 by 4. And then we have a remainder. So we take the remainder between the middle finger and the ring finger. And we repeat the same process for the hip on the right by 4. Okay. And then we've got a remainder of 3. We put the remainder between the index finger and the middle finger. So we've got all the remainders here, and we put them aside there. And then we have to repeat the process. This is considered one change, the first change. And we'll do 3 changes before we'll get the first line. So we'll start the second change now. Left and right. Take one out and insert here. Divide the bundle by 4. We take out the remainder and insert here. We do the same for the hip on the right. 4 is also considered the remainders. And then I put them aside. So we do one more time, then we'll get the bottom line. Divide into 2, and then take out 1, divide them by 4. So we take the remainders out, hip on the right, put it there. Then we have done 3 changes already. We need to count how many bundles of 4 are left on the table. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are only 4 possibilities in terms of the remaining bundles, either 6, 7, 8, or 9. They have a very symbolic significance. Even numbers are considered yin numbers, and odd numbers are considered yang numbers. And we'll use 2 symbols to represent the yang and the yin. So we use one solid, unbroken line for the yang force. For the yin, we use a divided line to represent the yin force. So 6 is considered the old yin. 7 is considered the yang yang. 8 is considered the yang yin. 9, being the largest number, is considered the old yang or the greater yang. So here, we've got the first line already. So we can jot it down. So it's a 7. 7 being a yang line. So we just write an unbroken line there, a solid unbroken line, as the bottom line of the 6 lines. So because each hexagram, we have 6 lines. So altogether, we have to repeat the process for 18 times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, we get another 7, which is a yang yang. So it's a solid unbroken line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Interestingly, we get 7 again. So we've got 3 lines. So actually, we've got the lower trigram already. Because for one hexagram, you've got 6 lines. The bottom 3 lines are the lower trigram. With 3 yang lines, actually, is a very auspicious trigram, which is the qian in Chinese, meaning heaven. So we've got the lower trigram, heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we've got 9, Also a young line, but this time it's an old young. That means this line will be changed in a minute. Because according to the I-Ching, when you reach to the extreme, you will alternate to the opposite. So if you got 6 being the greater yin, you will become a yang. So if you reach to number 9, that is the greater yang, you will alternate to the yin. So in other words, if you got 6 or 9, they are considered moving lines. If you are getting 7 or 8, they are called static lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, another 9. So another moving line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is really very intriguing. So we've gotten all the yang lines. All the yang lines. This is the probably the most enlightening hexagram that I've ever got, because without any yin lines. So the upper trigram is also a qian, meaning heaven. In other words, we've got all the yang lines, the lower trigram is heaven, the upper trigram is also heaven, so that means the hexagram is also heaven. So this is the first hexagram out of the 64 hexagrams. Heaven symbolizing the source of life, is the source of the whole world. It also symbolizes all the yang forces in this universe. Yang symbolizing light, brightness, life itself. And interestingly, because we've got 3 moving lines on top, so we'll get another hexagram. The 7, they remain unchanged because they are static lines, but all the 9s will be changed to yin. Then we get a new hexagram. This hexagram, again, is very auspicious, believe it or not. The upper trigram has become Kun, meaning earth. So we've got earth upon heaven. What does it mean? Actually, this is very auspicious. It can mean peace. Why is it called peace or harmony, actually? Because it symbolizes our spring. Winter would be the other way around, heaven on top and the earth at the bottom. Because the yang force normally will go up, the yin force will go down. If the heaven is on top, then that means there is no interaction between the yang and the yin. If there is no interaction, no harmony of the yin and yang forces, all the plants, they will go stagnant and even die, just like the situation in winter. But when spring comes, the yang force come down. And then you have this interaction, harmony, and union between the yang and the yin. So this is very auspicious. If we go back to the question that we have just asked, is it auspicious or successful to represent the I-Ching in the Western literary context? According to what we have defined just now, it is very auspicious and successful. No matter with the original hexagram that we have got, that is heaven, or the changing, the new hexagram that we've got, both of them are very auspicious. I would like to conclude with a passage from The Man in High Castle. This is by Mr. Tagomi, who is a great lover of the I-Ching. Because we live by a 5,000-year-old book, we ask it questions as if it were alive. It is alive, as is the Christian Bible. Many books are actually alive, not in metaphoric fashion. Spirit animates it. I really love this quotation because I do believe the Book of Changes, the I-Ching, is a book alive. I just treat it as my good friend. Whenever I have some queries, some anxiety, I will always try to consult it because he's so trustworthy and he's so wise. He would like to offer me his wisdom and to guide me through my journey of life.